Easy setup, easy kill, and they can crash yet another wave into Urgot's turret and set up a really big snowball in the top lane. And all they had to do was set up that lane state, then path towards it. Hey everyone, it's Kairos. Today I want to talk about a pathing strategy that I call reset ganking. If you find this video helpful, I got a bunch of other videos up that you might enjoy as well, and I'd love it if you subscribed to my channel for regular coaching content that I've been putting out on a weekly basis, and you can get on board early to help me on my journey to 1K subs. Now let's get into the video. So the first question is, what is reset ganking? So reset ganking is where you path to a lane after your laner has successfully crashed the wave, reset, spent their gold, and is walking back to the lane. And so this is a really good gank setup for 3 reasons. First off, the wave is going to be pushing back towards your laner. And so this wave is caught up here, and Nasus is going to have to let it slow push into the opposite turret and be overextended, or he's going to have to try and crash it. But either way, he's going to have to push. And then also Camille in this situation has been able to spend her gold, and so when you're pushing, you're generally gonna back and be able to spend more gold if you have a lane advantage. So she comes back with a full phage compared to just the Kendall gem, so she spent 450 gold more than the Nasus has and is just gonna be a lot stronger. And then finally, Nasus won't be able to have vision. Since the wave has crashed, he hasn't had wave control. That means he has no ward set up to spot out a potential gank. So it's a really bad combination of the laner will be pushing away. The wave is going to push away from them. They can't do anything about it. They're going to have less items just compared to when they got to have a back timer, if they aren't able to match that back timer. And then finally, just that they probably won't have the vision control set up to spot out if a gank is coming. And so it's just a really good gank setup that you should be aware of. Here's an example where Tryndamere had the opportunity to crash a wave into the turret, and then he's going to get a reset after this. And so this is a good setup for a reset gank for the Warwick. And so you can see as soon as the kind of window opens, Tryndamere is backing. This wave that Akali has is going to push back into the Tryndamere. The wave is closer to her turret. She has minions still alive, and so it's going to push and hit this wave, and she's going to have to push through a cannon wave to get this to crash. And there's actually a control ward already set up. So as Tryndamere is walking back, Warwick recognizes this and starts walking up so that they can hopefully gank this as she's crashing the wave, or right before that opportunity. So she's having to extend really far up here to try and get this wave to crash. And so she's overextended for a window of time, and before she can crash the wave, the gank is already on the way.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And it's kind of simple as that. And as soon as Akali is back to lane, she is already back to gray screen, and another wave is going to crash. So she's losing a lot of gold, a lot of XP, and then ultimately going to lose the Rift Herald here as well, assuming that Warwick can pick that up. So here's an example of a Mordekaiser into Urgot lane, and Urgot's pretty weak early, and so the strategy works decently well. The Gragas had a successful gank here, and he helps push the wave in to make sure that Mordekaiser can crash it to set up the favorable lane state and set up the reset gank that they might be looking for, especially after they've burned the Urgot flash. This is really a good way to set it up. So Urgot right now has no choice. The wave catches right here, and so no matter what is going to push away from him. And so he either has the choice to push really hard and try and crash the wave before Mordekaiser is back, or he can just let it slow push away from him. Either way, he's going to have to overextend here in the next, 20 to 30 seconds. And so Gragas recognizes this and paths straight back up into top lane with the Mordekaiser and attempts to snowball this wave. And because the Urgot didn't have lane control, he actually didn't get a ward in this brush right here as Gragas kind of wards out. So all he has to do really is wait for this wave to push into the Mordekaiser, and there's absolutely nothing that the Urgot can do about this. So he's kind of hopeless at this point. He goes in thinking that the Mordekaiser is AFK, and it's just a really easy setup, easy kill, and they can crash yet another wave into Urgot's turret and set up a really big snowball in the top lane. And all they had to do was set up that lane state, then path towards it. Some final considerations. The strategy is easiest to execute in top lane because it's a long lane, and that means that the wave states are somewhat exaggerated, and so it's much harder to fix a mess up wave, whereas in mid lane it's pretty easy to fix a wave problem because it's a much shorter lane. And then bot lane, there's actually a support and an AD carry, so they can push the wave much faster if it's in a troublesome spot. In calculating it out, it takes about 35 to 40 seconds for your laner to full channel it back and then walk back to the wave. And so use that about 40-second timer to plan out when you need to approach the wave and about how many camps you can farm as you're on the wave. If you have a lot of gold, then it's a good idea to reset with that lane that you're about to gank so you can spend all your gold and come out with a lot more power. So thank you for watching this quick video. I hope that it's helpful to add an extra tool in your tool belt of reset ganking. Some of the key takeaways are you want to look for this setup when you've crashed a wave successfully and the wave is going to be pushing back to your laner, because first off, the wave is going to push no matter what, and so the enemy will have to overextend. Also, your laner has just spent gold and is going to be relatively strong. And then third, your laner just had wave control, and so it's unlikely that the enemy had a chance to ward, and they will be less likely to spot out the gank. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope that this was helpful. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like, comment what your favorite part was or something new that you learned, and of course, subscribe. Help me get to that 1K mark, and I will see you in the next video.
This is the boy I am.